Design Diary, May 19. A bag for rollerblades. A couple of weeks back, I have posted on my Instagram a question: what should I design? What gear problem do you have? And among many answers, there was one that particularly, for some reason, caught my attention. It was a request for a sleek bag for rollerblades that is not too bulky and that is close to body for when you're skating, and that has space only for a few essentials apart from rollerblades. It came from a person named Harry Abel. I'm not sure if I pronounce it correct. And I looked at his page, and he is, if you can say, that it's a professional rollerblader. So the combination of these qualities made me really interested in doing it. Like, if the person, it was a very specific request, and the person seemed to be very into what he is doing and what he needs the bag for. And if he's requesting it, it likely means that really this problem has not been solved. And I have not designed a bag in a while, even though that's what I started from, like, 7 years ago. So I think I'm missing the bag design thing. And now, at the moment, I'm sitting and trying to wrap my hand around the fact that rollerblades are really chunky shoes. And my original idea was a messenger bag, something like this. So 2 zippers for putting 2 compartments with separate zippers for putting each rollerblade in, then a zipper pocket in the kind of part, the hollow part. This is not exactly the layout of this bag, it's just one idea that I had. So, and kind of having these both together, and I thought, that must be nice. And then I started making pattern, and it's big. Look at this piece. So, like, how do you wrap this around your body? And it could have been okay if, you know, if something that was supposed to be put inside would be flexible, like, I don't know, flippers for swimming, or whatever, a lot of clothing or anything. But these 2 shoes would be something really, like, rigid. So they would not be nicely wrapping around your body like this, like a messenger bag on the back. Let's see, on the back. Okay. This seems to be theoretically a good idea, messenger, this position, like, seems to be interesting. But when it comes to reality, the size and the nature of the thing that is to be put inside the bag makes me want to rethink and start the process, not from scratch, but my sketches are really a little bit crappy sometimes. I don't put too much attention in making them look good because they're just for myself, so bear with me. Yeah, I don't know if you can even understand what it is. But right now I'm thinking about the idea of having a sling belt kind of thing. You see this underlying curve. And both rollerblades being attached in the same way, same layout, but without the whole fabric enclosure, just strapped. This would be main strap, and maybe there would be one, not maybe, there would be likely one or 2 straps more, like probably here. So what is the difference between this and just a bag, because the layout is the same, how it is to be better. But because these rigid pieces would be just strapped to something that is soft, but they are not inside the bag, so they would not be pulling the bag when you try to wrap it around your body, and they would be not allowing you to really wrap. So if it is just a sling belt that goes nicely around your body, has some padding in the areas directly under the roller blades, But when they would be strapped, okay, they would be sticking out, like on side and on top of the shoulder. But because they would be free and they would be attached just at the center of the bag, I think it would be better. Okay, you're not going to carry rollerblades for like whole day with you and just use it for 10 minutes. I guess mostly it would be opposite. Distribution of time. So mostly you would maybe carry it for half hour and then half hour on the way back on transport. And most of the time, like 3-4 hours, you would be having them on your feet, and what you would be carrying with you is actually your shoes and the rest of your essentials. So actually right now, as I'm explaining this, I'm understanding that this is a true foundation, because if for 80% of time the bag is to be used as a bag for shoes and essentials, maybe it makes sense to make the bag itself that size. And anything extra that need to be carried should be carried with external straps or something expandable, but not the main compartment and not the main size of the bag should be dictated by the biggest piece of that you want to carry inside. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let's see how it goes. I feel now quite more enthusiastic. I think this idea with sling is actually good. So see you next design diary day and we'll see how it goes. This is the last. I just yeah, not the last. Okay. Sometimes when I start talking, things come. It's quite interesting for my mind to design something for objects that I have never used myself, because most of my designs are made based on the situation I encounter. And some people could say, and this is valid statement, that my designs are very egocentric. But it's not because I just care about me, it's just because I have not had requests from people who are outside of what I do, whose activities are different, but my designer brain is adapted to solving problems of any person. Of course, it's slightly more difficult. That's why I'm actually excited about this bag, because I just have to imagine how it would be to put the rollerblade in without having rollerblade or having access to one, or like I have to fully mentally model the situation without being able to test it myself. It is more challenging than being able to test it and adjust it and correct it, because I have to hit it right with fewer attempts, because also the person who gave me the idea of making this bag, of course, is going to get a sample to try it and give me feedback, but this person does not live in the same city as me, so there would be shipping included, postage and all that, so I have to eliminate as much as possible amount of iterations that I will have to go through, and perfectly I would really want to design something from first attempt, which is okay, yeah. Not very rarely it actually happens that way, but I will strive for that. Yeah, okay, see you soon. Day 2 of working on a bag. So today I started working on each specific node, because after getting initial concept of design, initial idea of the shape of the bag or whatever, you want to go one by one, looking at each part, small part, and deciding how exactly it is to be executed. And on the way, uncovering many different little problems that need to be solved in order to make this initial sketch happen. So today I have a little bit better sketches. So this is the yesterday sketch. Then I did it a little more refined. So I decided that there would be 2 pockets here on the side for small essentials, and the main compartment that would be holding shoes when you're skating, and there would be to attach the skates. They would be attached with 2 straps running like this, and the straps, in order to actually hold roller blades nicely against the bag, I decided that there would be necessary reinforcement buttons inside the bag along this axis. So like 1, 2, and 3. So they naturally separate also the compartments. So here is a little better sketch of what is in my mind. And I worked on many different nodes. Today I haven't finished yet, as there is still a strap itself, fully undecided how exactly, but mainly I decided how the button pockets would be formed, how they would be attached, a lot of bar tacking, because there would be strong forces and heavy objects, and this is the most dangerous point of failure. So that it's the top part of the button pocket, they would be made out of webbing, and the buttons themselves, most likely I would use, how's it called? Oh, I forgot. I'll tell you later, I forgot what they're called, but just thin and light and quite durable. Maybe carbon? Maybe they are carbon? I'm not sure. But probably they are carbon sticks. I don't know, flat, thin, good. So they would have the pockets, and this would be entrance of the pocket. At the same time would be attachment for the webbing piece of the buckle that would be holding, like this top buckle. Then this is the corner where the webbing would turn to become a button pocket for the horizontal button. At the same time, attachment for the buckle where the webbing strap would be going through, so that there would be not 2 separate straps, one like this and one like this for each roller blade. It would be one continuous strap that just goes like this and then changes the direction by going through this buckle and clips on top, so that you can cinch it well, and you will have only to attach or detach one buckle in order to remove a roller blade. Should be better for user. And then I decided exactly how some things would be bar tacked first, then attached, and I want some more bar tacks, like a lot of detailed work. And actually, as you see, my sketches become much nicer when I'm depicting technical aspects, a specific solution, because it's quite important to be clear, clearly visible and nice, whereas for this general concept it's not important at all how clear or nice it is. But here, I see, quite nice. Some calculations have been done. I realized, for example, one thing: in order for the webbing to change directions fully 90 degrees, the buckle through which it has to be going, of course, could not be as small as the just width of the webbing itself. It has to be following this formula. Basically, so for 20 millimeter webbing, you need buckles that at least 25 millimeters wide and a little bit more, a little better, and so on. So this is quite important. Like, think that when you do the original sketch like this, like, hey, there's not even buckle here. You just know that, okay, webbing passes through something, and then you just think what it can be passing through. What is the most optimal way? What is the most optimal piece of hardware to be passing through? What is the way to attach this piece of hardware? What is it? And then you go and try it. You take just a piece of webbing and try to, well, for example, yes, here, 1 inch webbing, 25 millimeter webbing, 25 millimeter trig glide buckle. Like, you try to make it change direction in, at 90 degrees, and I kind of feel that it would not be easily like sliding through. Yeah, I realized this just by trying. I didn't, although a good designer could have foreseen it from before just through mental modeling, through the mental modeling of the design. But okay, we learn. So then another thing that I came across, and I don't know yet how to solve it, but it is the thing that the buckles where they have adjustment. Let's take again, this is quite tight. Okay, yeah, I will demonstrate it with a thinner webbing than the buckle is made for, but it's okay. So, when there is adjustment, it works even if it's the wrong width of webbing, doesn't play any role. It works in this direction because it blocks itself effectively only by, it blocks this free end from sliding away, just because it's, this free end is really held by the straps that is loaded, and it cannot go. But as you start to increase the angle, I'll do it slower, but you get an idea, because at some angle, because like in this buckle, there is this kind of sharp edge, at which I think it is the most strong, the power of the loaded strap over the unloaded free end. And once this angle between the straps and this sharp corner is less than optimal, then you get this sliding out. So in our case, because the I haven't made better sketch, but again, because yes, because here would be attachment point potentially, it would be going around the roller blade. So when you look at it in 2 dimensions, like here, it's okay, but it's 3-dimensional thing. So if you draw it in 3 dimensions, you will understand. Okay, let's see. So the roller blade will be like whatever, tube, huge boot. Beautiful. Okay, at least wheels. Wow, it's funny to draw while looking through the camera at your drawing, not actually at your real hand. It's possible. So the straps that would be holding it would be going like this, from the center of the back, passing through the 3-glide buckle. Let's say this represents 3-glide buckle. Then going again, like that, and arriving at the top of the buckle. You see at what angle? It's a curve here, like buckle. If buckle is located here, and buckle has a free end here, and attached to the other end at the top, it is possible that there will be a curvature, big curvature, curved enough to make the buckle not as good for this implementation. Potentially it could start, the webbing could start becoming loose, and this is absolutely not what you want when something heavy and volume is attached to the back just by using one strap, so there is no backup. If this starts sliding, potentially the roller blade can fall off. So, and there are buckles that are made for curved applications. There are very few. Mostly, I've found them for dog collars, for a good reason that dog neck is round. So when the buckle has a more curved profile, it works better. So because it's accounted for this angle of attack. The only thing I'm thinking, and I'm going to check out, but I'm not a big fan of those. But for example, the buckles, this is a Cobra type buckle, the plastic one, not the classic one. But they have some spring here. So for regulating the strap, there is not just it is mechanical, but it's not static system that holds the strap. It has some springs, I would guess, inside. So it holds the strap under bigger range of angles, because the free end is held here between 2 pieces. So it actually needs to be lifted quite a lot, almost 90 degrees to it, to the strap in order to start opening. Haven't worked a lot with this kind of Cobra buckles. But I know that there are just 3 glide buckles of this kind, and yeah, I don't know, yeah. 3 glide itself also is not the most wanted in this situation. I would like a leather lock with adjustable leather lock, basically. It's a question what will I find, but we'll see. But you see how it's coming together? Like a little node, one by one, you go through and you make decisions, and then it becomes much more clear what it's going to be. And I've decided also on the shapes and the way the volume is to be added to pockets in the main compartments. Is relatively easy thing to do, but the way how the zipper would go, we'll see. In practice, when I will start making pattern, I might dump this idea, make it a little bit more easy to do, but we'll see. So I have a strap to decide about the buckle itself, and then I think I will start making pattern. Whew. It's a nice journey. Day 3. Just a quick update on the project. So I finished making all the patterns. This would be what? Main piece with pockets here. This is a pocket pattern, like that. Go like that. Zipper would run here, and there would be zipper would be running here. Here would be 2 eyelets to attach the shoulder strap. And here is the main compartment. Will be pretty volumey. I think my camera is slightly moving around. So main compartment, also with quite a bit of volume, zipper around here. And this piece here, so zipper is not right at the edge, just a little bit inwards. So opening all the way on 3 sides. Is shoe compartment essentially, mostly because when the roller blades would be attached to the bag, this compartment would be inaccessible because they would be right on top of this. So it would be flattened and it would be used only when they are removed. And this is, I hope this would be enough volume to stuff shoes. There's a piece of foam that would be inserted inside the bag to just prevent rollerblades from hitting the bag directly too much. And I have done most of calculations of strap length for each strap, each little piece for zippers. I haven't designed quite at all the shoulder strap itself. But sometimes when I make projects like this that have so many new things, like essentially everything what I'm doing is almost new and had not been tested, sometimes not to lose this nice feeling and drive for making it, I start making not half of it, but like the discrete piece, the piece that could be separated. The strap is actually would be completely detachable. It's not necessary to design both pieces before starting to cut. So in order to keep my interest, keep my enthusiasm, because there is so many uncertainties, it's nice to just take part of the project and complete it so that most of uncertainties are gone, and then you can more concentrate on making the last pieces in a more relaxed manner. But I still haven't solved the problem with curvature and the buckle from the previous day. By the way, these are not consecutive days, it's just days of working on this project. So until then, I will hold the project. I will try to find the buckle, because there is no point of making all of it and cutting and sewing it if I don't have solution for quite a critical piece. So once I find this solution, I am already basically ready to cut all the pieces and put them together, because it's completely clear for me how to assemble those pieces. So it's a straight path but just the last unknown, the curved adjustable buckle. We'll see. Hello, and this is, I believe, day 4 of Design Diary for the bag for the skate, for carrying skates. I don't remember if it's day 3 or 4 or 5 now, because there have been about a month or more since previous time I worked on this project, because basically I think I talked about it in the previous entry. Because I encountered problem, concern about webbing slipping through the leather lock buckle when the skates would be attached to the bag, and I haven't since then found any solution, but I decided to just power through, to just make a bag and try these buckles. Actually, if they work, that would be quite alright. If they don't, at least I will have a bag and I will be able to just try different buckles maybe. Generally, I don't like to keep, to pause the work on one project for too long, because basically I start forgetting some details about it. Because if I haven't written down absolutely everything, all the decisions, how everything should be done, then I have to do it again, this work. And generally, it's not a nice feeling to have something hanging, like some project in the corner, unfinished. Like I really like to clear out and start a new one. That is my principle for quite a while now. So this day, as you see now in the fast-forward pace, it's about 5 hours of work in total. So I cut the bag and I assembled it to the extent that I can at the moment. I'm still lacking one small piece of hardware, which would be a tree-glide buckle that would be attached in the corner here. I basically need a tree-glide buckle that is more than 25 millimeters wide, because, and I have been talking about it before as well, because of, I don't know if you can see, because of this, of my geometric calculations and all that. So I need wider one for the webbing to pass like this. But I completed almost everything, and I'm quite happy with it. It's coming together, I think, better than I expected, because when you do something that is completely unknown to you for the first time, there are a lot of factors that can play out and come out not as nice as you expected, but I really like this. Look at this. As always, I'm thinking like, oh, I want to keep this bag for myself now. Basically, so we have these side pockets, quite volumey, and maybe even more voluminous than I expected, but then you'll be able to carry here like a significant amount of food in one, and maybe water bottle, and like a jacket or even a down jacket. The whole down jacket could be stuffed here, like medium weight down jacket would fit in. And in the middle we have compartment where the shoes would be stored when you are skating. Not you, but the person who would be using this bag. So, and this is also has quite a lot of depth, but this is for the reason for a pair of shoes to fit. And of course, because I don't know what kind of pair of shoes would it be, of course it would unlikely be some winter shoes like tall with fur inside, but who knows. But at least certainly here a pair of sneakers should fit, and maybe even something even bigger could fit. Then in the middle of this pocket we have a strap, basically compression strap for if your shoes like really tiny and thin and all that, so that it doesn't flop around and bounce around when you are skating. And the tail of this is also attached with tree-glide buckle, so it doesn't fly and flop around, even though it's on your back, and it wouldn't be flopping you like and touching you, as with some other pieces of webbing that could be hanging out of backpack and then just flying around. But still, okay, bag is almost ready. There is a semi mock-up shoulder strap I have found those buckles that were missing. I am yet to try this with some kind of shoes that would imitate the roller blades, but all the system is ready to be tested. The shoulder strap attachment is, so initially I planned to make a detachable auto-equalizing strap, but in the end it's just auto-equalizing strap. It's not detachable just because of technical reasons and of me wishing to test this bag finally. So this is self-equalizing strap. So you see there is just one piece of webbing going through like this and then connecting again. So whatever side the strap is starting to pull, it equalizes on its own. I think it's quite wonderful. I use the system in my hiking backpack for almost a year now, and so far it hasn't failed me and I like it. So I attach the strap in the same way on both sides, and I attach just a simple seatbelt webbing 5 centimeter wide strap with a plastic Cobra style buckle, just to be able to try it out. I think, as I expected, the bag is a little too big. Like if you really close it tight while it's empty, it starts to crawl all over here, all over the person. So I don't know how it works. I left this super long tail because basically it's the last piece of seatbelt webbing I have, and if I cut and then I need it longer, I don't have it. So until I decide that this is a configuration of a strap and it's okay, I will leave it like this. I'm going to take this bag home and try to put my biggest shoe, heaviest shoes on it, just to see how the whole attachment system works basically. But I'm getting closer to finishing it, so I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so here's a imitation of rollerblades attached to the bag. I have to say that attachment to the bag works quite well. They're held quite nicely and tight. Okay, the true rollerblades will have more height like this, but there is, I think, space to accommodate for that. And it's held quite securely against the bag, but unfortunately, as I suspected yesterday, the bag form, the bag shape is not exactly how it should be for this size. Basically, for this long, the bag that goes all over the shoulder and then comes out here, it has to be really curved to sit there against the body properly. Because you see here, it should be like illuminated this part, and it has to curve to go and sit nicely against the body. But yeah, I feared that, and I should have heard my fears before, but okay. Now, as I have already figured out all the system's pockets, location, approximately the size, straps and everything, it would be much easier just to change the shape of the main bag footprint and make a new bag. I still need to think about strap system more, because here is quite it has to be padded here, because if it goes over the shoulder, all these things should not be against the skin. Because okay, if you wear something thick, maybe you wouldn't feel it, but still I like to account for the case of almost not wearing anything, or for the girl wearing some tank top with just basically bare shoulder, so it has to work against bare skin almost. So here is there this attachment point have to be here always, so that just a nice strap, smooth on its own without any stitches, sits against the shoulder here, against the point where it pulls the most, or some padding have to go under here and cover all of this system, so it doesn't come into contact with the skin. Other than that, I'm quite happy, but yeah, I will have to make a new bag now, basically, because unfortunately, even if this kind of, well, it works, yeah, but it's just like this, it's suboptimal. I wouldn't want to give this back for testing, so I better make a new one. And it's not such a big problem because this bag accidentally, okay, the strap is a little long, so I have to hold it with my hand, but accidentally it makes a really nice, big, volume, how my husband called it, a pannier. I have like panniers on my side. When this was stuffed, especially, this looked like a panniers in the big compartment at the back. But this would make a really nice, big volume hiking hip bag. Basically, just with another strap. Here I would need to shorten. I put maybe another buckle with both sides being adjustable, and then here it goes. It's like, it's really nice. Pockets, whew, big, and the back compartment that now it's okay. It's covered with shoes, but it's quite volumey. Like it can fit a lot of things. Yesterday I holding it in this bag all together in all the 3 pockets. Down shorts, core warmer, base layer top, base layer bottoms, mug, small thermos, and yeah, these kind of things. And there was still some space to for smaller things, so I think it could make a really good hiking companion for a long hike when you need more things. Not like day hike still probably, but with all the shoulders being free, I really like this idea. And the bag being ventilated. I haven't tried hiking with a hip bag as the only bag. So yeah, this bag will be retired, not retired because it haven't been used, but okay, let me demonstrate you while I'm here how detaching. So look, the strap goes like here. So this is the one strap. So you put a boot or roller blade, then there is this attachment point and a buckle, and another buckle on top. And actually all my fears about this buckle, that's questionable still. They may be legit, but it doesn't seem to be really opening, even though it's actually not in such a compromised position. But basically I don't know, because roller blades might be sticking out more, and okay, still unclear, but it more or less seems to be working as a system, even without extra secure buckle for the curvature of the boot. One more thing that I almost forgotten about. As you see, boots are a little bit dirty, and of course rollerblades would not be so clean after riding on the street. So one more thing that I haven't made yet, but I had it in mind as most likely necessary thing, is some kind of boot cover. Maybe for just lower part, but some thin material, really like almost this PU coated nylon that is used for bag lining, and just with a rubber, with some elastic cord on the top, so you just pull it over easily, so when you're wearing these parts do not hit and like make your clothes too dirty. And they will be stored in like these pockets while you are riding. What else? And I think actually a whole system that I made, all these pockets to insert buttons to make it more rigid, I'm not sure if it's actually necessary in the end, which is okay, because it's better to find out that you don't need something that you projected in the bag versus finding out that, oh damn, I should have projected this and now I have to add this. And it makes it simpler for the next bag to be produced because it requires less work. But I think it's just like what I feared, that the bag would be wrapping around too much around the boot itself. Doesn't seem to be quite true. Also, of course, the bag became a little bit rigid on its, not rigid, but okay, it has some structure because of the foam sandwiched with webbing and stitched, and it kind of has some structure. It's not just like one layer of fabric that would be totally like pulled and shaped easily by the tension. So this holds somewhat, So I think I will just even forgo buttons. I was preparing to cut them today in my workshop, and I was going to bring a saw in order to do it, but I think I will need it. So it's quite nice, less work. And for the next iteration it will be easier. So yeah, overall I'll have to change the shape of this bag, which will, now as you see, of course it's obvious that this is too huge. This will not shape around the human body well, but okay. I could have foreseen it, I thought about it, but just too many unknowns from the beginning makes it hard to think about absolutely everything. Of course, shape is a little bit fundamental thing. It's a little bit of a little bit failed, but it's okay. This is the design process. So basically, I need now either to make it symmetrically more banana shaped, meaning like this line to be much more curved, because here it's already curved, but like basically something like that should happen. Either symmetrically on both sides, I should extract some to make it curve around the body, or only on one side and extract a little more. But this requires knowing on which shoulder it would be worn, because basically here the straight works quite, it's okay, but what doesn't work is here. So either I extract here and make it really curvy here and leave it there, but yeah, then it's not, you will not be able to switch the sides, which I think people don't really actually switch the sides too often. They have their preferred side and they go with that. So we'll see. But yeah. So next bag is coming. I was so hopeful that this would be the end, but no, it's okay. To make something good from first iteration, like what was I hoping for? To be such a professional designer? Yes, I am, but it doesn't mean that always from the first try you get it all right.